Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Sunique, and today I thought we'd take a little look at the Rooted Woman Oracle, which is a new deck out from Hay House, written by Sharon Blackie and artwork by Hannah Willow. This is like I said, a Hay House deck. This is the size. It's a really nice packaging here, and it has a magnetic closure. I love a magnetic closure, a green ribbon. And inside we have a little bit of text and a beautiful landscape image here. So let's read the text. It says, "May the rooted women who were our ancestors and the spirits and stories of the lands they lived in guide us on our heroine's journey." Isn't that interesting? We hear about the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell, and the way also that's been applied to tarot, as in the Fool's Journey. This time we've got a little bit of a different take. We've got the feminine version. Let's read the back. First, the Rooted Woman Oracle is based on the old myths and folk tales of Europe. I'm going to pull in a bit. In which women are the guardians of the natural world, the bearers of wisdom and the root of spiritual and moral authority for the community. It offers a heroine's journey to a sense of rootedness in and belonging to this beautiful animate earth. And then we've got a few tiny little thumbnails of some of the cards here. And we talk about Dr. Sharon Blackie, who's the author, the writer, who's also a psychologist and a mythologist, specialising in the mythic imagination. And then Hannah Willow, the artist inspired by wild and free places, creatures, folklore, poetry, myths and legends. Now then, you might recognise those two names. I did. The first one I recognised was Hannah Willow. I thought, oh, Hannah Willow, I have a Hannah Willow deck. The Folktails Oracle. I love this oracle, it's so nice, it's so cute, and I'll go through those cards actually in a second. And then I recognised Sharon Blackie from a book I'm reading called If Women Rose Rooted, and yeah, the Rooted Woman. So these two sort of complement each other, which is brilliant. So this comes with a guidebook, and the guidebook is, oh, got a mark on it already. Guidebook is 143 pages. We've got hannahwillow.com if you want to find out more about the artist, and we've got sharonblackie.net if you want to know more about the author. So that's the book. Okay, let's have a look at the contents page first. Alright, so Peregrina is the first part, then an introduction, the heroine's journey, the oracle deck as an ally and guide, how this deck has been structured, working with the Rooted Woman Oracle, introducing yourself to the deck, beginning your reading, interpreting the cards, and then we've got some spreads, 1, 2, 3 spreads, and then I had to go a little bit deeper with the oracle by journaling, some dream work. And it says active imagination there, which I presume is visualisation. And then we go into the cards. The cards have 3 suits. First suit is places, second suit is allies, and the third suit is the journey. And then we've got a couple of focus cards, one of which is Peregrina, and then Rooted. Okay. So for Peregrina here, we've got a little poem. And then we have quite a bit of information, as I said, in the first part. Talks about the 3 suits here, how our traditions are anchored in the land, and the land being our teacher. Cards in this suit reflect the archetypal and symbolic qualities of specific landscapes found throughout Europe. The allies feature women from European myth and folklore. The journey, oh, what's this then? Well, we have different stages of the journey we're travelling along. So we have descent and return, for example. Okay, so that's a little bit about the structure of the deck. There's the spread journey, allies and places. So I presume we take one from each of the sections, each of the suits. We have a 5 card. Talks about journaling, some dream work. Okay. And there's a guided meditation actually called A Woman's Journey to Rootedness. And it's available on an audio app called the Empower You Unlimited Audio. And we're into the cards. Okay, so that's the guidebook. Let's put that to one side. And these are the cards. This is the bottom of the box, which carries on with that little landscape there. Nice. I like that. Put that to one side. Okay, these are the backs of the card. There. And the cards are borderless, which is really nice. So we start with the well, the source of life. And in Sharon's book, If Women Rose Rooted, she tells the story of the Well Maidens, which is a very tragic story. Island. Boundedness and isolation. So if you think about it, we're going on a journey here. We have cave with the bear there, incubation. Bog, stagnation. We've got lots of these up on the moors. Bodmin Moor is actually full of bogs. The spider's web. Forest, finding the path. So as you can see, this artwork is beautiful. Meadow. We've got some cornflowers there, which is my favourite flower. I love cornflowers. We have mountain for vision and inspiration. Sea, plumbing the depths. Got the crab there on the shore and a whale under the sea. We have the moor itself. So yeah, I'm so lucky where I live. I've got Dartmoor, Bodmin Moor, and then the moors down south as well. Heather. Yeah. River for flow. I've got some stepping stones here. The lake, what lurks beneath. Storm here, but we've got a glimmer of light there. Yeah, sea monster of some description. Standing on the edge. But notice another glimmer of hope there. I'm not sure, but I'm sure I can see a bird. Here. I can see a wing there. I'm sure that's a bird there. Is it? I cannot. It really looks like there's a bird there. Wow, that is interesting. Bridge, the place between worlds. A blackbird. Stone circle, the sacred landscape. Badger in the set. Got some symbols as well. Cairn, portal to Bistry. We have cairns as well in Cornwall. I'm so lucky. This is really a home deck for me. Fish of King's Court, so we have otherworldly treasures. So this is a reference to the Arthurian legends. Fish of King, the Isle of Women, Women's Mysteries, and we've got Maiden, Mother and Crone here. This, the mother represented by a pregnant figure. We have our next suit. So these are our allies that are going to help us on our journey. So the Well Maiden. So if you remember, we've got the first card is the Well, and here we have the Well Maiden. And again, I've gone to lots and lots of wells here in Cornwall. There's so many of them, not all of them in great state of repair. But yeah, there's some really nice people trying to keep them maintained. This is our well maiden, the voice of the other world. The well maidens would offer food and water to travellers. Their story, like I say, ended very tragically. We have Old Crane Woman, the guardian of the threshold. So it's like a woman's head here, and then yeah, the bird here, the bird's legs. Sovereignty for the power of the land. Oh, we've got a figure. Didn't see it at first, but yeah, there's a figure there. Oh, that earth sleeping. Selkie, the soul skin. This is seal. We have Mish, divine madness. Mish actually appears in the Celtic goddess, witches and queens oracle as well. So there is a crossover actually between these decks. Ceridwen, yeah, in there as well. So here we have the cauldron. It's called the initiator, but here we have the cauldron. The story of Ceridwen is sort of seen here in the cauldron. Ellen of the Ways, pathmaker and guide. Some really good allies to help us on the journey here. And we've got Rhiannon. Yes, Rhiannon's in there as well. Celtic goddess, witches and queens oracle. So there is, yeah, like I said, there's a real crossover between these two decks. Maybe you only need one. Depends how deep you want to go, really. The buried moon, the hidden feminine. So we've got a reflection of the moon in the pool. And these look like nature spirits. Yeah, like fire, water, earth and air, maybe. That's what I'm seeing. Sheila Nagig, fertility and creativity. You can see Sheila Nagig above quite a few churches in Cornwall. And the Cailleach, protector of the wild. We see a lot of Cailleach energy in the Witch Sister Tarot. Women's wisdom. We've got some hagstones here. Oh, that's nice. I don't know how to say that. Linfesha? Fisha? I don't know. Matcha? Strength and endurance. Oh, beautiful. We have Old Woman of Dreams, the maker of visions. The cauldron ablaze there. All these spirit animals as well. Beautiful. The Grail Bearer. So yeah, another reference to the Arthurian legends. Spiritual nourishment. Everything's crossing over for me at the moment, you know, with the decks. The Witch Sister, this one. The Arthurian one that I've yet to delve into, the French one. The Tarot Arthurian, but yeah. The Grail Bearer is featured there as well. Banshee. The Keening Woman. Must be so haunting to hear the Banshee. The Morrigan, Death and Rebirth. And then we're on the quest. Okay. So we have a quest. Imram. Gosh. Alone on a stormy sea there, on the rapids. It's going down really fast, isn't it? Just clinging on there. Yeah. All at sea with our emotions and the moon. And yeah. Life can feel like that sometimes. Being swept away. Pilgrimage. Gosh, it must take so much to actually do a pilgrimage. A proper pilgrimage. Labyrinth. The wasteland. Oh, yeah, everything's on fire. Burn it to the ground, start again. The call in the form of a letter. the threshold. Shall I, shan't I? Do I walk through that door or do I stay in this safe place here? There we go, the Fool. It's a bit of a Fool's energy there, isn't it, from the tarot? Taking flight. The Descent. Okay, so we're going down into the underworld there and facing our shadow self. The Crossroads, another decision. The Temptation. Initiation of these bats. Covering the head as well. God. Transformation. So maybe we've gone through a dark night of the soul there. Shape-shifting. Reclaiming the feminine. These threads. The Sacred Marriage. The Return. Oh, so the Fool, yeah, and the Fool goes home. You know, the Hobbit and all those sort of stories, when they return back home, totally changed from when they left. Is that the last card? 17? Looks like it. Then we have Peregrina and Rooted. To those two extra cards. So Peregrina is the pilgrim. The fox companion and a crow or a raven. Yeah. And then we have a real rooted woman. So this is possibly the beginning of the journey. And this is the end of the journey and who we can become. Beautiful. Okay, those are the cards. Actually, I just wanted to have a little look at the book with you. Just to give a taste of the energy behind this creation of the deck and the book. Here it says, when I was a child, they're talking about cultural stories, the story of Eve in the book of Genesis being the underpinning for countless measures which have limited the action, rights and status of women. Sharon talks about Eve and the background to why we are subjugated and why women are second-class citizens compared to men, and how this makes Sharon angry because it justifies a world in which men still have almost all the real power over the cultural narrative, the stories we tell ourselves about the world, about who and what we are, where we came from and where we're going, as well as the way we behave as a result of it. Angry because it justifies a centuries-old violence against women, which threatens even in this enlightened 21st century to spiral out of control. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much into that because it is quite, well, it can be hard to read, especially if you've suffered, which most of us have actually. Anyway, yeah, it talks about the Romans and Eve, Pandora, fallen women, you know, and how we've been seen and treated. I mean, it's incredible to think that your husband could actually put you in an insane asylum. Had the power to do that, to lock you away. And they often did, didn't they? Anyway, not now, obviously. There is, yeah, we're talking about the hero's journey, the basic plot of all the world's great stories. Campbell declared, involves a hero who happens to be a person of exceptional gifts, which may or may not be recognised by his society. Then they go into the wells and the waters. So here we've got the Clutie Tree of Madron Well in Cornwall, a place I know well, and the background to that, which is brilliant. Sharon actually visited it as well, so it's hard to find the actual well itself. And yeah, we're talking about the well maidens. So that's a little bit about what the book's about. I've only read about 3 chapters so far, but yeah, it's very fascinating for me. Okay, so let's take a look at some cards. We'll go at, what shall we look at? The Fish King's Court, because that one caught my eye. Let's have a look at the Old Crane Woman. I'm taking one from each section. have a look at the fall. See how it lines up with the fall. the fall. Okay, so the guidebook. So I have chosen these two actually on purpose, and I'll show you why. When I read a little bit of this book, I'm going to read it out to you actually. It says here, page 30, do you know the Tamar, the great river which once cut Cornwall off from the rest of the world until they built a bridge and let the others in? Now, the bridge is actually crosses at Plymouth, just outside Plymouth. It's a toll bridge, but you don't pay to get in, but they charge you to leave, which I've always thought is funny. But yeah, you can come to Cornwall for free over the bridge, but yeah, pay to leave. But anyway, back to the book. Yeah, do you know the Tamar, the great river which once cut Cornwall off from the rest of the world until they built a big bridge and let the others in? Do you know its story? The story of the water nymph Tamara. Now we found Tamara in the Celtic goddess, which is in the Queen's deck. Find Tamara. It was the very last card, and I did read the entry to this one. So it tells the story of Tamara. There she is, Cornish. It's the only Cornish card in the deck. So yeah, if you want to hear the story of Tamara in full, then yeah, it's in that video. Anyway, interestingly, I used to live right next to the River Tamar, so this is quite pertinent for me. Anyway, so the water nymph Tamara was turned by her father into a stream, and then grew up into a mighty river, which is the River Tamar. I was looking for the source of the great Tamar one day up among the willow trees by Woolly Barrows, when out of the corner of my eye I caught sight of a grey heron standing in the boggy waters from which the river is known to rise. At least I thought it was a grey heron. But when I turned to look at it, in the place where I thought the heron had stood was a tall, skinny old woman, all dressed in grey and with straggly white hair. Actually, this is a crane, but yeah, herons, cranes, they look very similar, don't they? I imagined at first that she hadn't seen me, but then suddenly she turned her head and began to speak to me. I don't imagine you remember, she said, quite apropos of nothing, that once the court of the Fisher King could be found along the banks of the Tamar. I thought that was amazing. So, yeah, it talks about the Fisher King and everything in this book. So, yeah, I thought that was great. So that's why I've brought these two cards out. So let's see what it says in the actual guidebook for the deck. But I thought that was really cool. Anyway, the Fisher King's Court. The Fisher King's Court is a large body of European legends about the quest for the Grail. Is an otherworldly source of nourishment and treasure which can sometimes be seen in this world. But this is a magical place, which is usually situated on the banks of a great wide river, offers us more than just fine food and jewels. It's the source of all the treasures of the living earth, the wild things, the beauty of the natural earth. In European traditions, the otherworld is a lush and fertile place. It might sometimes be dangerous, with ample traps for the proud or unwary, but it's usually envisaged as a land of abundance. It's a place of beauty and harmony, not of darkness and terror. A country which exists outside the laws of time and space. It's home to deities, spirits, and supernatural beings, and to our ancestors. It's a world which runs parallel to our own and which might sometimes seep into it. The other world is elusive, accessible only at certain times of the year, at certain thin or threshold places, or by invitation. For our ancestors, it was just as real as our own world. It was simply perceived in different ways. Not with the physical senses, but with what we might think of as the psycho-spiritual senses. This card reminds us that we'll always find our greatest source of joy and nourishment in the magic of the land, which is the gift of the other world. It reminds us to be grateful for and respectful of the abundance we're offered. Okay, so that's the place. So who's our ally? Our ally is the old crane woman, who is the guardian of the threshold. So the threshold that we're talking about in the Fisher King's Court. Yeah, in Celtic mythology, cranes are associated with old women. They guard the treasures of the otherworld and the entrances to otherworldly abodes. And like the heron, which was mentioned in the book, wasn't it? The crane's ability to move between water, land and air makes her a symbol of shape-shifting and magic. She's a powerful and liminal bird who acts as a guide to those who wish to travel through the borderlands. In the course of any journey, we'll arrive at one or more thresholds which separate one place, one world, from another. They are transition points into new ways of being, and all such thresholds have their guardians who ensure that those who approach are equipped for the crossing. The guardian of the threshold isn't necessarily a menacing monster who might bite off your head, but she's not to be messed with either. Her judgment is final. You're either ready for this new adventure or you're not. Old Crane Woman is something of a contradiction. She has the wildness of a bird, but the steadiness of a wise old woman. Her decision about your suitability for the challenges ahead will depend upon how you approach her, and chances are she'll have a test for you, a question or a riddle to solve. But the guardian of the threshold isn't your adversary. If you're ready for the crossing, she's the one who will show you the way. Old Crane Woman. If you ask her nicely and are sure to pay your respects, is your sole guide. In this card, she invites you to step forward to answer her questions about your readiness for the journey ahead, and to reveal to her the essence of who you are. So they go together, don't they? I don't know if the rest of the cards work that way. So now let's have a look at the journey itself. And we're on card 8, which is the Fool. When we heed the call to change and step off the threshold, we're back to the threshold, imagining that we're going to set our feet firmly on the new road ahead of us, we might instead find ourselves stumbling, missing the path and plummeting down into the dark. Oh dear. Let yourself fall. Sometimes we have to let ourselves fall in order to kickstart the process of transformation to which we've now committed ourselves. We have to let go of old ways of thinking, of old limits, to let the old ways die to make room for the new. Because once you've stepped across that threshold, it is for sure a severance, a kind of death. You can never go back to what you were before. There's no question that it's hard to fall forward into the wind, to let yourself topple off the edge of all that's known and familiar, even if that old life isn't serving you. It's a big step, the first movement towards wholeness. It means leaving behind the safety of familiar social structures and supports. It's a massive letting go. But these are edge-dwelling days, and if we want to live up to them, we must stand there, consciously aware of the troubled times and the endangered planet. And then of our own volition, step out across this first threshold. And at some point during the fall, you might find that you're flying after all. So, those are the entries for those 3 cards. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So maybe Old Crane Woman's test is, will you jump? Will you try to fly and cross the threshold and find some treasure? Yeah, maybe. Okay, so what I think I'll do now is just quickly show you the Folktails Oracle, because I did mention it. So it comes in a bag, like so. It's a beautiful deck, but I do have a gripe with it, and that's the cards structure, because the cards are square here. They're not rounded corners, which is a shame, and they're quite like postcards, I suppose, in structure. These are the backs. So it's sort of echoing, actually, yeah, it's sort of echoing the inside of this box, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, look at that. Really similar, isn't it? So the guidebook for this one is small. There's Hannah. It's not numbered, it's just a plain white box inside. I think there was 22, I think 2022. Yeah, 2022 this one was out. And this again is sectioned into 3, surprisingly. They echo each other. So we have the first section, which is called Being. So the first 12 cards. The next 12 cards are Growing. And then we have Understanding. Yeah, so that's the way that's structured. We have full colour images of the cards on this page, and then the text on the facing page. So for the stag, it's peace. Grandfather the stag rests in the forest in his safe place. He's at peace with the green woodlands around him. Moonlight surrounds him as the stars appear slowly, and there is a hush. Silence all around except for the rustling of hedgehogs, the companionable twittering of birds settling for the night, and the flit of bats overhead. Deep in the hidden landscape, far from the eyes of the world, are the peaceful places, places of rest and respite, where wounds can heal, both physical and emotional. The peace of these sanctuaries seeps into the soul, calms and envelops with the ancient wild. Find your peaceful places. Let it embrace you and take away all the cares you carry. It is possible to let go and to hear the earth breathe. I think there's nothing stopping us from using these 2 decks together, because I think it would go well with the energies. 1, because it's the same art style, but 2, this might be some more advice for that journey. So we start with a beginning and a little baby fox. Home. Just quickly go through these. I'm not going to labour it because this would be too long a video. Friendship. Hope. Always nice to see the first snowdrop. Actually, I saw my first blossom yesterday. That's coming out early. Contentment. Peace. I just read you the entry for that one. Love. Courage, which is the image on the front of the box. And there's quite a few bears in here as well. Cards are really, really difficult, and I've never attempted to shuffle them in a riffle. No, they're difficult to shuffle. Forgiving. Journey. Balance. I like balance because look, it's good, isn't it? Ancestors. Folktails spelt T-A-L-E, whereas Folktails Oracle is spelt A-I-L-S. So a subtle difference there. Pathway. This stag features in the Witch Sisters tarot quite a bit. Bears, we have constellations as well, a great bear. Wishes, wish upon a star. Some sulky energy, that sort of echoes the deck as well, doesn't it? This is tides. So I reckon they could work really well together actually. Within, remembering, wisdom, purify, familiar, nature spirit, Robin Redbreast, magic, hidden, the tree, all the roots, fairy, intuition, divination, intent, ritual, scrying, vision, transformation, spirit of the land. My favourite card in the deck, Temple. It's very special to me. Very special. Endings and Spirit. So those are the cards. It's a very gentle deck, beautiful gentle energy, which may be something that we could use alongside the Rooted Woman Oracle. And in fact, I think they go along beautifully together. Let's just do a little quick. Do it quick. Beginnings, well, source, stone circle, balance, heroine within, ooh, strong, old woman of dreams, familiar, ritual, quest, pilgrimage. Yeah, I think they could, transformation and descent, yeah, I think they could really go well together. Temptation. Yeah. Initiation, spirit. Oh, yes, I think they'll go really well together, actually. Work well together as a pair. Okay, so thank you for watching. I've really enjoyed this deck. I'm going to enjoy working with it. And until the next video, thank you so much for being here, friends. Bye now. Bye.